hopefully it'll start working now. But you know what? This time I actually do have an idea of something to make. It's something similar to the Pink Floyd logo. Let's see. Pink Floyd, which one is it? You know, the one with the prism. Yeah, the one with the prism. Something like this, but a little bit more, what's the word? I guess more like this, like more three-dimensional, and but with a little bit of a, I don't know, I don't want to say twist because that's cheesy, but yeah, with a little bit of a twist. So let's get started. Okay. So if we have, alright, so basically what I'm going to do is I want to try to figure out a good composition for this first. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete all that, and I'm going to make a triangle. Make it black. And really quickly, just do all that good stuff to make a triangle. This is, you know, like the side of the prism, I suppose you can say. And then I'm going to make a sphere, sort of like an oblong sphere. So this will be the light coming out. So I kind of imagine it almost looking like a gunshot, you know, like a bullet traveling through somebody's head, and like blood splatter coming out of the other side. So actually, that's actually not bad. So the blood splatter, okay, just to kind of talk about it a little bit more, the blood splatter will be the prism, the light spectrum, so all these different colors, but it'll look like sort of, it'll look a little bit like this. I'm a little bit discouraged because that's pretty close to what I want to do, or like that. I guess other people had a similar idea to what I wanted to do, but I don't know. Let's try to make it different. Let's do what we can to change it up a little bit. Okay, so screw these things. I don't need these because I need this because I'm pretty sure of what I'm going to do. I'm pretty certain. All right, Photoshop, be friendly. Okay, so I'm gonna make the bottom of the prism, and this will sort of serve as the perspective, because it'll be something kind of like this, and I more or less want it to be kind of isometric, and I want it to let me make some notes here just so you can see what I'm doing. I want it to be very clean and very readable. I don't want it to be ambiguous in the least. So I believe it'll look something like this. It's hard to explain what you want to do and work at the same time. Maybe I'll get better at it because, yeah, this is my first time. I just got this microphone, so yeah, this isn't easy. This isn't easy, folks. But you know, of course, there are other people out there who are pretty adept at doing this kind of thing, speaking and working at the same time. but more or less it's really just about wasting time, right? So let's kind of make that higher. Actually, you know what? Let's keep this interesting. What if we just made that straight? Something like that. How does that look? I think that's okay. So essentially what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna kind of bring you through the start and finish of a design that I've had in my mind for a while now. I went to Germany recently, and I don't know why I thought of this, but I did, and I thought it would be kind of cool. So again, this is the Pink Floyd, or I shouldn't say Pink Floyd because I don't want to do exactly the Pink Floyd logo. I want to do something different. So just to kind of differentiate the sides of our prism. Okay, that's a good looking prism, right? Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like this right angle here. I think that's essentially what I'm going for. Okay. Take a sip of tea. Okay. So now, let's see. Jump over to Google, my best friend, and I'm gonna look, because you know, we're all good people here, and we don't steal things. I'm gonna say labeled for reuse and look at some splatter designs, because I'm gonna bring one of these into my project. This is pretty gross, but this isn't exactly, that's not what I'm looking for. I just think it's gross. Okay, so these splatters up here look pretty good. I think this is the one I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I like this one. That's the one. Oh, looks like, can we, yeah, good enough. Okay, so came in as black, so I'm gonna go in here, make sure I check contiguous and delete all the black. Now there's a little bit of like a frayed, the edges are a little bit frayed from the selection. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna control click the layer so it selects everything. It basically selects the alpha channel of the object, and then I'm going to hit the mask button, and now I have a perfect mask of that shape. Now I'm going to go into the mask, and I'm going to shift the edge in the negative, about -10, and I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit, and that should get rid of most of our dark edges. You know what, actually? You know what I'm going to do that's even better? I'm going to get rid of our mask, and I'm just going to fill this guy. So now we have that. And then I'm going to make a mask. So we get rid of all of the edges. And now I'm going to go in and smooth it out. Maybe just like 3 pixels or something. That's pretty good. Okay. Alright, hopefully Photoshop won't... There we go. Okay, so we have this over here. Let's kind of blow that up a little bit. So we're just kind of getting all the elements into place. And once we have all the elements into place, then we can start refining everything and making it look good and professional. So I'm going to put these in a group. Prism, just to kind of organize things a little bit better. This will be light stream, and yeah, we can have that. We can have that go straight across, just like that. Okay, I think that looks relatively decent. And with this shape, we can apply the layer mask and rasterize the layer style to get rid of the cover overlay. Okay, cool. And now I'm going to color the background black, but before I do that, I'm going to grab the light stream and basically what I did was I just press Control-I to invert it. So from black, it turns into white. And then I'm going to go to layer 7 and do that. Call that black BKG. I like writing BKG for background. It always makes things a little easier. So I'm going to take a look at these prisms. Because I like the way the prism is black, but it has that sort of kind of reflective quality to it. I think this is the one. If it'll open, it didn't open. Why didn't it open? All right, whatever. It's gone. That one. Okay, there we go. So it's not, that's not my favorite image, but I want it to be something like this. Like I want it to actually look glass-ish. So let's make a layer, call this front face, and since this is the front face, it needs to be on the front first of all. And how does that still look decent? Let's see, where is the corner? Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it looks like this corner right here isn't in line. It's not in line with the bottom, but it's in line over there, so that kind of creates an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control click this layer, and with the front face layer selected, I'm going to just go ahead and hit delete, and it just cuts it right out. And I think that's okay up top. I'm not even going to worry about that. Okay, so front face, control click, I'm going to get rid of it, hide it, in other words. And let's see. I'm going to just grab a white gradient. Okay. So for now, that's good. I'm just gonna leave it. Just gonna leave it at that. There's a lot more we can do with it, which I'm planning, but let's just leave it at that. So bottom, do the same thing. Let's see. No, more like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and finally the right face, hide, select, and get that gradient in there. Very cool. So obviously one thing about these prisms is that there's you know, they're transparent. So that means that there needs to be a back face, and let's see, how can I do this? What's the best way to do this? So I need to create a mask from the tip up top to here on the left to the bottom and back up to the top. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, this is simple. Okay, watch this. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna go right outside the other shape. And so I'm gonna go ahead and create this shape first, and I'm gonna fill it in with red just so I know what I'm doing. Okay, and then let's select the bottom, and I'm gonna invert the selection and delete. Is that gonna work? No, it's gonna delete everything. So I need to hit Control Shift. No. Ah, I see. So I gotta invert, Control Shift. No, how do I do this? Ah, right. I need to grab this layer. Now, this should delete everything that's outside of this, I think. Oh yeah. Cool. That is cool. Alright, so this is back face. Now we have that. Which is kind of nice. It's coming in a little red. Oh right, because of that. So let's bring that back to white. Just keep things consistent. Let's see what works best here. No, I don't like that. Don't like that. I don't like that either. Let's see. So I'm just looking for a gradient that works with that selection. I wonder if just something. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. Alright, let's see. That's not bad. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay. Cool. And I can even get rid of it, but you know, we kind of need that back face because there is something there. That's fine. That's fine. A prism is a prism is a prism. You know what? Maybe what we can do is split the difference and not have a full gradient, but just have like a, yeah, I like that. That's nice. Oh, baby. Okay, cool. So I'm going to move this over to the side. Okay, so starting over here, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to create a hole, but first I'm going to kind of clean things up a little bit. Not kind of, but clean things up a little bit. So these are the main prism shapes. That's not at all how you spell prism. That's like really bad. Maybe triangle. I think I know how to spell triangle. And that's how you spell main. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that. That's whatever. Let's see. Okay, so I have my whole layer. I'll throw it up top. So I'm gonna make a hole. Something like this. And fill it not with white, but with black. And then fix the perspective so that it looks as if a hole was blasted into the side of our prism. And of course, if glass is breaking, we don't want it to be as symmetrical as that. We want it to be a little screwed up. Now, why is the flow all the way down? Oh, probably because I was using those silly brushes. Okay. So I'm just kind of going in, I'm going in here and I'm creating like, well, I'm not really liking exactly how it's going, but let's see, I'm trying to create a look as if glass has shattered. The glass of the prism has shattered. Okay. And so of course it won't be this symmetrical, but kind of just screwing with it now to get just to get like something going, and then I can go in and make it all the better. And you know, looking at the perspective, that's why it's not working. So you know what I should do actually, because this doesn't make sense. What I should actually do is make the hole first, right? And I want to see just like a bullet hole. How does a bullet hole look exactly? Yeah, there's like these kind of, you know, these sort of broken, yeah, something like this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Something jagged and and crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my own. I'm gonna stop stealing things from the internet. So make it a little bit irregular. But you know what? Let's keep it regular. Let's keep it fancy. Let's keep it Bauhaus. So I think this is definitely a better way to do this. So this is something that happens a lot, is, I mean, at least with me, and I'm sure with other people as well, is you try an approach and it doesn't work, so then you try another approach and then it might work a little bit better, and then you sort of refine that approach into something that works great. And you know, by no means am I saying this is great, but it's definitely better than what I had before. Okay. Cool. Very good. Okay, so now I need okay, I need to blow that up a little bit. I need to get that sort of highlight that's inside of there, because this is a two-dimensional, or rather, I'm sorry, a three-dimensional shape, right? So it'll look something like this, but I want to get it directly from this shape, and I don't want to have to go in and draw it out, so I just need to ponder for a moment. How am I going to do this? So let's copy that, let's invert it, move it down to something like that, and then see how we have our form. We have it right there. We have it. Son of a bitch, we have it. So let's take this, and what do we want to do? No. What do we want to do? Okay, I think I know what we want to do. Okay, so where's our other? Here's this guy, and here's our white guy. So we can go in and just simply delete all that, and then ta-da! Beautiful, sort of. I mean, that's pretty good, right? I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not too bad. Okay. So what we can do, let's call this black hole. I mean, it's close enough, really. And we'll call this hole HL for highlight. We can get rid of that, and get rid of that. Let's control click on our black hole, create a mask on our hole highlight, and then fill in the little stragglers that didn't come through. Now, this is a rather low sadly low resolution image, but oh well. This is just a quick, well, no, I was gonna say this is just a quick little session here, but I don't want to say that because this is so much more important than that. I wonder if there's any way I can, so let's just go ahead and apply that. Now can I try to make this thicker? Yes, I want to make it about 2 lengths thicker. So I'm going to make another mask, and I'm going to disconnect them so that I can move the layer without moving the mask. So I'm just gonna kind of move. I'm gonna move this down slightly. I'm gonna duplicate it and then move it down again. Try to keep everything all lined up. And duplicate it one more time, or button, Control J to duplicate. And there we go. Now it's thicker. Cool. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. And I'm just going to put all those guys into the same layer. And again, fill in the stragglers. And create that layer mask. Very nice. Now this is unintentional, but I kind of like that sort of black edge that it has. So I'm going to leave that. Wow, it took a lot of work to create that hole, huh? Hell. Okay. Oh, that's right, I didn't save. I'm gonna throw this on my desktop. And don't you dare look at my desktop. Okay, so let's say prism, triangle, gunshit. Okay. So this is called triangle gunshit. Unintentional, I swear. Triangle gunshit. Okay. So that actually looks kind of nice. So now I'm going to work with our blood splatter a little bit. This is the part I was kind of dreading. You know what, let's just actually go in and just paint it in. Just paint it. Just paint the goddamn thing. And let's see, I want to turn down the spacing. So Photoshop, they leave in your brush. So if I were to put the spacing up higher, the brush splits apart each brush stroke. Now that can be really nice for specific types of effects, but Photoshop by default kind of leaves it around like 20 or something for the standard brushes. So if you paint, you can see that you have this kind of ripply edge, which is very annoying. So if you want to get smooth lines, you have to put down the spacing, and then you get nice smooth lines. Okay, so let's see. just kind of messing around here with our splatter shape. Let's actually flip that vertical, I think. That's a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let's go, I'm gonna go into here and let's just paint all the way in, or rather all the way inside of the hole, and then we'll go ahead and delete all of those lines that we don't need. Uh-oh. Photoshop being silly again. Okay. So I'm just trying to make some interesting shapes. Something fun to look at. And so what we can do is we can select our hole, and I don't think I want to make a mask. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just delete this. Or actually, yeah, let's make a mask. That's easier. Okay, so first we want to deselect, make a mask, select our hole, invert the selection because we don't want to paint in the hole, and just paint all that in. Muy bien. Neat. Very neat. So it's called a splatter. Slapter. Oh, okay. Paint. This is no game. This is no time for games, people. What time is it? Almost an hour. Ridiculous. Okay. I wonder if this has... It kind of has that sort of Pink Floyd rainbow spectrum all set up. So what I'm going to do, I want to keep the splatter and the paint separate, just in case I want to mess with them some more. But I'm going to make a separate copy here so that I can keep, well, you know what, actually I don't even need to do that. I can just do this, make a new layer, select the splatter, and then select the paint, and fill in that mask with white. And then in our layer, just do this. Ah. Now that is pretty cool. Oh, but we've lost our mask. So I'm going to select our black hole, invert the selection, and then paint that back in. Or paint that back out. And it's not working? Oh, right, because we need this. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Wrong layer. Very cool. And this will be called color spec. And we can throw these guys at the bottom because they're just kind of, you know, helper layers at this point. And then of course Oh yeah. Stretching out here. Let's see. How can we make that even better? So I'm going to go in and refine this hole. But first, no, I don't know. Yeah, let's go ahead and just go ahead and refine the hole really quick. So let's call this hole. So this will be the whole highlight. This will be whole shadow. Whole shadow. Actually, let's. Okay, I have another idea. Let's go into brightness contrast. And drop the brightness. Simple as that. Call that whole shadow. And fill it all with black. So now it's all filled in with black, and then we're going to go in and just reveal only what we need. So let's grab a nice soft brush. You see how that really just adds a whole bunch of goodness, a whole bunch of just great stuff. Look at that. Look at that. Oh man. Now that's something. That's something to be just really proud of. Thanks, guys. Okay. So I'm just going to go through and do that with all of these. All of these corners, edges, and just continue to make it look more dimensional. As I make more and more stuff, I've come to realize that more and more that the details are more important than well, than anything really. Remember when I said that it was hard to talk and work at the same time? I'm kind of speaking gibberish right now. Okay, so I'll stop trying to be Bob Ross and I'll just keep working. It's been an hour, but the first 20 minutes of this were a travesty. I don't know if you saw it, and if you're watching this live, how many people are watching right now? One. If you're yeah, if you're watching this later, the first 20 minutes were just Photoshop wasn't working. But whatever. Boo-hoo. Okay. So let's make some shards. Just gonna make some quick shards because this is, you know, this thing got pretty busted, right? And let's actually cover that up. Cover up the opening with some shards. That's kind of cool. Alright, so let's find... This is going to be a pain in the ass. That's fine. There's got to be another way to do this, but there's not, because I want each shard to be at a different angle, so I can't really do them all at the same time. I have to do them one at a time, but that's okay. So let's work cut. I'm gonna cut this. Gonna cut that shit. And let's see, these two are connected, so let's cut that as well. Okay, so now all the shards are on different layers. And what is this? Is this anything? No, this layer is nothing. That layer means nothing to me. Oh, nothing moved, did it? Okay, nothing moved. Okay, so let's duplicate this. Let's bring up the brightness about 30. Drop it, and something like this, something like that, and then fill in the gaps. Okay. Definitely not the most glamorous process, but I think in a speed paint, one of those cool speed paint videos, this will work or look cool. Let's do 30 again, a little bit below. Yeah, unfortunately the resolution again on this is pretty low. It's a bummer. Okay, this one I think will be, oops, cajone. Alright, not invert, but bring up the lightness to 30 and drop it. Yikes. Okay, to here, to here. Cool. And let's bring this down, just like that. Bring up the lightness to 20. Let's switch it up a little bit. Fill in that. Fill in its space. Yeah, that'll be difficult. Nope. Man. Okay. Get the color. Get the girl. And then here, maybe we can bring this guy up. Let's make that 20 as well. Drop him below. And then finish up the negative space, like men. Like men. Okay, so that's that shard. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and combine all the shards with the respective highlights. Make sure they're all connected the right way. Oh, see, this one is not. No, that's not good. Where is that highlight? Okay, now I'm confused. What is going on? Okay, so this, I'm going to delete that. And where are you? No, this one. That makes 0 sense. Oh. Oh, fuck balls. Okay. Dang it. Photoshop. Ah. Okay. So I need to go back to before I did that. Ay, ay, ay. I want to blame it on Photoshop because just because I can. It's easier. It's easier to be mad at somebody else than yourself. Right? Alright, let's get rid of the right face just to see what we're doing here. And that's why it's good to name your layers. Cool. Okay, now I think we're good. Oh my lord. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the most frustrating parts of working within these programs is just staying organized, especially when you have a bunch of separate pieces. It's just infuriating. Alright, we can get rid of that. I don't even want that. That's enough. I've done enough shapes here. Okay, let's bring back our right face. And then so let's put that, let's actually put these, so this is part of the prism. So these need to go over. And we can put this one under. So it's kind of a mixture of both. You see that? So I'm trying to, oh, whatever. Okay. Cool. Cool beans. Now I have this idea. I'm just gonna play with it really quick. Oh no, I can't stroke that. I need to stroke these guys. So I'm gonna make just a white stroke around that. I just want to see how it looks. Don't think I need it. Because I feel like if I put that stroke in there, it's gonna make things look strange. Okay, so how about this? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of the effect on that. And then I have, oops. So I gotta turn all these on first. And now I just have my prism. And I'm gonna create a stroke on the outside which does look kind of nice. I think I'm into it. But the problem here is that, okay, so let's throw this out of that group. Delete that. And what's going on? How come this isn't working? Because there's a slight discrepancy in there. So let's turn the stroke back on. And I'm just going to do this just to get rid of that inner stroke. And then I'm going to erase the outside to clean up the point at the top. And yep, there's still that stroke there. Let's hold down Shift and pull straight across. And then I'm going to go in here and just clean that up as best as I can. Hold down Shift again, straight across. There. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into effects. I hope the stroke is worth it. Let's see, 7. And the best way to do this is to rasterize the layer style. Select just the inner part of our triangle. And delete. Cool. So now we have a cool, nice, crisp outline to mess with. You can put that onto there. Nice. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I think that's pretty slick. Oh, flux just turned back on. Okay. Oh, so we're getting there. We're getting there, people. Whew. Let's see. I kind of want to texture this a little bit. I wonder what happens. What happens if we put in a color halftone? So we want 45 all around, and let's do 4, which is the minimum. How does that look? That looks pretty cool. I think that looks pretty neat. Should we stick with that? Yeah, let's go ahead and stick with that. But just because I'm scared, I'm gonna make a copy and save. I want to make a copy of that and do it on the copy instead, because, you know, what if I don't like it? I don't want to have to, you know, do it all over again. Does that color halftone work? There we go. Color halftone. Color halftone. Now, did that work? Oh. Let's just pull that out and look at it. No. You know what, I think the color halftones can actually be slightly larger. So let's work with the front face first. And let's go 6. That's kind of cool. Okay, I like that. Color halftone, color halftone. Weird. Doesn't seem to want to do it for the back. Okay, there's no real reason to do that. I think it's just mostly because it's just kind of cool. But of course we always have our backup, so we can compare between the two. Do we like a smoother transition, or do we like that kind of color? I like that because it has a little bit more bite to it, and I like the sort of the separation between the prism and everything else. Word. Okay. So light stream. Let's work with that. And I'm gonna grab, with Photoshop, there's like an airbrush brush. That's kind of cool. And I'm gonna fill it in with red or yellow. That's enough. And do something, so I'm angling my brush right now to the side. That's kind of interesting, but I don't really like. No, what if I did something like this? Does this work? No, because that's too different from the texture there. Holy moly, okay. So let's do something like a muzzle flash, because I want to give just a hint of a muzzle flash. So there's our muzzle flash. That's kind of cool. Okay, so let's create a muzzle flash. Let's just effing do it. So I'm going to first foist create, whoops, one piece of it, right? And let's make it gray, just sort of a gray, so that I can see what we're, so I can bring it to yellow or red or do whatever I want. So I'm going to go to blur and motion blur, put that to 90. So oh, Christ, always press enter when I'm not done. Okay, cool. this. Actually, I'm gonna duplicate it so that I can mess with it without messing with the original. So just working on our muzzle flash here. Nothing totally extraordinary. All right. Actually, what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to combine these two shapes. And duplicate them. Flip horizontal. And there we go. So now we have something that's kind of cool. That's like kind of cool. So what happens if we kind of give it a Gaussian blur? I don't know, I want to Gaussian blur the whole thing. I want to Gaussian blur the whole thing. So blur. Okay, so this will be the inner shape. Let's take another look at the muzzle flash. So there's kind of like a white, yellow, and then to a red. So I'm going to do that. So let's see. So this will be white. You will be yellow. So it's gray, so I can't get any of that saturation. So we have to go to color balance, fill it with yellow, red, and then bring up the saturation. There we go. That looks great. And then one more time. You, my friend, will be red. You will be red. Let's see. How can I get to that red? I need that red. Alright, let's bring it there. And let's go the rest of the way. With those red, yellow, white. It's already kind of starting to look like a muzzle flash. So I'm going to go to blur, Gaussian blur. Let's bring that up to, let's bring that up to about 30 or 13. And then the red, and I think with the yellow we can probably actually blow it up a little bit. Yeah, just like that. Okay, and with the red we can do the same. Of course we want that to be there. And press enter. Very cool. And we have our muzzle flash. Muzzle, yeah, flash. in case you haven't noticed, it's like they're shooting a gun. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go into my light stream. And let's see, I want a color overlay of this color. But I want the light stream below the muzzle flash. Let's see, the bullet. Maybe I don't even need it. What if I got rid of the light stream? Just kind of like that. Just bam. That's kind of interesting. And bring that down. I just want to, let's see, add, yeah, just like a little, just a tiny bit of splatter. Okay. Oops. Cajone. All right, and go back. I'm gonna grab this color here, and I'm just gonna kind of just want to paint in just a little bit of a brightness there. So yeah, that looks kind of neat. Okay, we're just moving right along here. This has been about an hour and 30 minutes. And I'm not exactly sure what else we can do. I'm gonna see if I can add something behind our front and right face, just to, you know, do something. To kind of put something on the inside of our prism. So really quickly, let's grab more of a square brush. And oh, nope. And I'm going to inside particles. Something kind of like that. But of course, that needs to be level with our gunshot. So let's get right dead center of our hole and bring the muzzle flash down just right there. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of this. take these guys and copy them and bring them into here. Group them. Call this inside particles. Okay, and bring them all and just kind of like spread them around. So I'm going to take the black hole as well. Oh shit. Oh shit. And I'm going to turn it around. So let's flip horizontal. So that we get that. How can I do that? Let's actually get rid of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy all of those and put them into a single layer. So now I have it all in a single layer. I'm going to drag that over and flip that horizontal. So now we have, well not quite. It's kind of confusing. Technically it has to be the same side, right? So what we can do is actually just turn it like that. Take all these inside particles. And they need to be, let's see, so this copy needs to be below the right face. So let's see how that looks. That's kind of cool. Nice. Okay. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna mess around with these and toss them around. Cool. Nice. Let's move that up. Move it up like so. Let's see. I think some of these particles, let's take both of these. I'm going to lock those so I can grab these particles underneath. Doesn't need to be there. Okay, so maybe what we can actually do is something like this. Did that work? Oh no, shit, I'm putting it on the wrong layer. So let's erase the sides. So I want it to be more of like a explosion on the inside. Everything on the outside. It's kind of cool. But it's kind of distracting. I think this okay, so here's an issue I'm having, is that this tells the same story as this. You don't really get much more from the story of the gunshot kind of blasting this thing, the prism, from that. So everything that you can remove to well, every word, let's say, that you can remove from a sentence and still have the sentence tell the same story is better. So let's think of it as this is just an extra word that we don't need. So let's get rid of it. There's one thing I wanted to try, just to see how this works. Oh, nope. Because this is what I had in mind when I first thought of this. But that doesn't mean anything either. So I think that's it. I think we are done with this. Or whatever you want to call this. It's kind of cool. So let's see. How's that? Alright. Cool. That's it. I'm done. I'm not touching it anymore. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm gonna make this into a speed paint video, so it'll be a little bit more bearable to watch rather than listening to me kind of speak about it. But yeah, if you did watch, then wow, that's amazing. But other than that, thank you for tuning in.